Hey folks, this is Kalani. Season 2 of Midnight gives solo content players far more options for how to gear up, and you can get much higher item levels in general. You can quite easily get up to item level 320 or higher with no group content needed. That's the equivalent of heroic raid gear, and you can even pick up some mythic gear along the way. In Season 2, the main solo content features also connect much better, helping you gear up faster if you take part in all of them. So we're going to go over every gearing option for solo content players and show you how you can get up to item level 320 and beyond without having to take part in any group content. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. One of the most important things to do every week is to pick up and complete the various weekly quests that can reward you with a Spark of Tides. There are two of these in Silvermoon, the Unity Against the Void weekly quest from Liadrin and the Trailing Xal'atath weekly quest from Varisa. There's also the Curse Surge weekly quest on the Coiled Isle. All three of these weekly quests can reward you with a Spark of Tides, though you can only get one spark per week if you are caught up to the current cap. We'll be able to get 4 sparks in the first week of the season and 1 spark every week after. You can always check if you're behind the current cap for sparks by checking your spark dust in your currency tab. If you are behind, you'll be able to pick up extra sparks from completing these weekly quests or from taking part in endgame content. All of these quests will also reward you with a pinnacle cache. The first 2 you obtain from any source will contain a piece of veteran gear, and they also contain coffer key shards, veteran crests, and other useful currencies. There are a few other ways to get pinnacle caches, like the Special Assignment World quest on the Coiled Isle. You need to complete a few normal world quests to unlock that one, so if you're doing world quests anyway, that might be something of interest to you. World quests themselves can reward up to adventurer gear, so they're useful towards the start of your gearing up adventures, but not much past that. There are special events in the Coiled Isle called Curse Surges. These events end in a rare boss fight that can drop adventurer gear, currencies, and reputation. As you work your way through the Zul'Jara's Forces Renown track, you will eventually be able to get some veteran gear from these events, but there are plenty of other sources of veteran gear, so I wouldn't really worry about it too much. To get some larger gear upgrades, you'll want to visit Astalor's Sanctum in Silvermoon to check out the prey system. Prey hunts have 3 difficulties, and the higher you go, the more dangerous your prey targets will become, and you'll have to deal with specific torments or affixes while you're in the open world. But you will get much better rewards. Normal hunts will reward you with adventurer gear and crests, hard mode hunts bump it up to veteran gear and crests, and then nightmare mode hunts offer champion gear, champion crests, and some hero crests. Only the first 2 hunts per week per difficulty will reward you with gear, so you can get 2 pieces of champion gear per week by running at least 2 nightmare prey hunts. Now you'll probably always want to run at least 3 nightmare prey hunts per week to complete the weekly quest and nightmarish task. This will reward you with some hero crests as well as a scale-bound Herald's Flute. This item lets you summon the Season 2 Delve Nemesis into your Delve runs, giving you a chance at some extra gear, but also giving you another way to secure your Trove Hunter's Bounty map for the week, which can be used to earn a piece of hero track gear from the Delve system. As you complete more and more prey hunts, you'll be earning progress in the Season 2 Prey Journey track. There are some fun cosmetics to pick up along the way, but at Renown rank 4 you'll unlock the ability to loot afflicted souls from tier 6 or above bountiful delves. When used, these souls will let you skip over the entire hunt portion of your next prey hunt, so you can just go straight to the boss and complete the hunt in under a minute. The soul also gives you bonus champion gear once per week, so not only does it significantly speed up your prey hunts, but it also gives you extra gear. When you reach rank 9 on the Renown track, you'll be able to loot Tormented Souls instead, which do the exact same thing except your bonus loot will be on the hero track instead. So you'll be able to get 1 piece of hero gear from prey hunts every week as long as you're doing delves as well. Nightmare Prey Hunts will also be filling up your world row in the weekly vault. Nightmare Prey Hunts are the same as tier 8 delves for weekly vault credit, so they'll earn you some item level 305 hero track gear on reset day. The prey feature was expanded in 12.1 to be about more than just prey hunts. After working through Astalor's new quests, you'll be able to enable the Curse of the Coiled Isle, subjecting you to the nightmare torments while in the zone, even while you're not on an active hunt. In return, you'll be able to loot ossified relics from completing world quests and from new prey daily quests. You can turn these relics into a Haunted Brazier in the zone to summon Ralkala, Terror of the Isles. When defeated, this boss drops corrosive coins, corrosive souls, champion crests, and hero crests, so this could end up being a very good source of both champion and hero upgrade crests throughout Season 2. The next way to get some big gear upgrades is to dive into delves. You can earn up to hero track gear from delves every week, and it's one of the best sources of champion track gear in the game, but not all delves reward these big gear upgrades. You're looking specifically for bountiful delves. They have a special glowy icon on the world map, and only 4 delves will be bountiful each day. At the end of a bountiful delve run, you'll find a locked chest. That's where your gear upgrades are going to come from. To open that chest, you will need a restored coffer key, and to get those keys, you just need to earn 100 coffer key shards, and then the next time you enter a delve, they will be converted into a key automatically. You can obtain coffer key shards from almost all open world content, including prey hunts, curse surges, weekly quests, pinnacle caches, rare monster kills, opening treasures, and more. Getting 600 per week to turn into 6 keys should be easy peasy. The gear rewards from bountiful delves will improve as you increase the difficulty, and they cap out at tier 8, so that's where you'll want to use all of your restored coffer keys. That will earn you 2 of 6 champion gear for every single key you spend, and all of that gear can be upgraded up to item level 308, so this is going to be your main source of gear upgrades early on. Now, just like prey hunts, completing delves will fill up the world row in the weekly vault, and the rewards also cap out when you can complete tier 8 delves, so that should always be your goal. Tier 8 delves will earn you 305 hero track gear on reset day. You want to fill up the world row with a combination of nightmare prey hunts and tier 8 delve runs to maximize your chances for a good upgrade. There's another way to get some hero gear from delves, and all you need is a Trove Hunter's Bounty map. There are a few ways to get your hands on one. The Prey weekly quest from earlier should reward you with a Scalebound Herald's Flute. You can use this item to summon the Season 2 delve nemesis in any delve run after you've reached the checkpoint halfway through. After you fight the nemesis off, or die, whichever comes first, they'll drop a cache that will contain a Trove Hunter's Bounty map. The other main option is to complete the weekly quest down in the Vaults of Atal'utek. The map itself is a reward from that quest, so that's worth doing if you haven't done the weekly prey quest for whatever reason. You also have a chance to get the map from any delve run, so there are plenty of options available. You can only get 1 map per week, so where you get it from doesn't really matter. You just need to get 1 per week if you want an extra piece of hero gear. When you use the map, your next delve run will have a hidden trove chest at the end which contains your piece of gear. You can only get hero track gear if you run a tier 8 delve or above with your map, so only use your map on tier 8 or above delves, otherwise you'll be missing out on a piece of hero gear every single week. As you complete delves, you'll be earning progress in the Season 2 Delve Journey track, and just like the Prey track, there are some big unlocks in here. At rank 3, you'll be able to find Dun Dun in your delves, and the first time you find him each day, he will make your run abundantly bountiful, which gives you extra chests at the end for even more loot. At rank 4, you can start earning myth crests by completing tier 11 bountiful delves. At rank 5, a vendor will appear at the end of your delves that will sell champion gear. At rank 8, you can start looting warbound champion gear from your delve runs, which can make gearing up your ults much faster. And then at rank 9, tier 11 bountiful delves have a chance to reward hero track gear, or a currency that you can spend with a delve vendor to buy hero track gear. Either way, you can start earning hero gear directly from delve runs after you reach rank 9. You can earn progress for the Delve Journey track by completing bountiful delves, from opening the coffer key chests at the end, from the Nemesis chest, so it is worth killing all the Nemesis monsters when you can. You'll get a good chunk from your hidden trove chest, and you'll get an item that starts a quest for your first delve clear of each week. If you want to farm the rep to progress through the track quickly, I would recommend clearing every bountiful delve every day, even if you don't have a key to unlock the chest at the end. Now you may be wondering, what about the Vaults of Atal'utek? Is it still worth venturing down into the underground of the Coiled Isle to farm those events? It can be, but it is the least valuable source of gear for solo content players out of the main 3 options. The most important thing to do in the vaults would be the weekly quest, Purging the Vaults. This quest rewards you with a Venom Cursed Fragment, and when you get 2 of these, you can turn them into a piece of champion gear, so that will help you gear up slowly but surely. The other key reward from this weekly quest is the Trove Hunter's Bounty Map, so instead of having to summon the Nemesis to get your delve, this quest just straight up rewards it. The quest also rewards a good chunk of Coffer Key shards, so if you haven't hit your shard cap for the week, that's another reward to look out for. There are constant public events in the Vaults of Atal'utek, but only one type of event really matters if you want some gear. Temple incursions start on a timer, and you can see it count down at the top of your screen when the next incursion is close. The incursions themselves are cool, but the only real important part is that the incursion succeeds or completes. Every time an incursion is successful, an ancient foe will spawn right after, and this is where the gear is actually going to come from. The first ancient foe you kill per week drops a Venom Cursed Fragment, which you can then combine with the one you get from the weekly quest for 1 piece of champion gear per week, but then every kill of the ancient foe also drops a bag that contains a 3 of 6 piece of veteran gear, so they are worth killing at least once per week, but they're still a good source of veteran gear if you want to farm them. So the vaults can be worth it if you need some extra veteran gear or if you've already exhausted the other sources of champion gear for the week, but other content is more rewarding and you'll probably get your Trove Hunter's Bounty Map from the prey system first, so the vaults do lose quite a lot of value simply due to that. Now, as you complete your prey hunts, delve runs, and take part in the vault content, you'll be earning corrosive souls. You can spend these souls at the Altar of Corrosion to unlock new powers in the corrosive codex. You can only have 1 of these powers active at a time until you unlock 8 powers total, at which point you can use 2 powers at a time. All of these powers only work in solo content, so they don't work in dungeons, raids, or PvP, but that makes it a great way to power up your character to help you take down prey targets or higher tiers of delves. Some good powers to pick up early would be Ophidian Maw, Insidious Venom, and Ulatek's Gift. If you want to swap your powers around without having to venture back down into the vaults, you can find a mini Altar of Corrosion at the start of every delve that lets you change things around. Up until now, the highest gear track we've been able to obtain is hero track gear, and those sources are very limited for solo content players. You can get 1 piece per week from your bounty map in the delve system and 1 piece per week from the weekly vault. More options open up later on from the prey and delve journey tracks, but that's still just more hero gear. There is only one way to go higher than that for solo content players. This is where your Sparks of Tides come into play. Sparks of Tides can be used to craft high item level gear. It usually takes 2 sparks to make a piece of gear or 4 sparks to make a 2-handed weapon. The higher the rank of the resulting craft, the higher the item level will be, so you always want to get a rank 5 result, whether you're crafting it for yourself or using the crafting order clerks. The gear will start at item level 305 when just using the sparks, which should be a good upgrade for most players at the start of the season, but the real power of this crafted gear comes through using crests to upgrade them. You can use hero crests to upgrade all spark crafted gear to item level 318, taking it up to almost a max hero track item level, or you can use myth crests to bump it up all the way to 331. Spark crafted gear with a myth crest upgrade is the very best gear available to solo content players, but you are going to need to get your hands on some hero or myth crests to fuel these upgrades. Hero crests are very easy to come by for solo content players nowadays. You can earn them from Nightmare Prey hunts, from the Prey weekly quest, from the Housing weekly quest, and from high tiers of delves. You shouldn't have too many issues reaching your hero crest cap every week, even as a solo content player. You can use your hero crests to upgrade spark crafted gear to item level 318, or to upgrade your hero track gear up to item level 321. Now, myth crests aren't quite as plentiful. There's only one reliable source of myth crests for solo content players at the start of Season 2. After you reach Renown Rank 4 on the Delve Seasonal Journey track, you can get 5 myth crests per Tier 11 Bountiful Delve you run, up to a cap of 20 per week. That's it. That's all you have to work with. That means it will take you 4 weeks to earn enough myth crests to fully upgrade a piece of spark crafted gear, which isn't ideal, but it is doable and leads to the best gear available for solo content players. If you want easier or faster myth crests, you're going to have to clear Mythic +9 keystones or above. You can get 4 sparks total in the first week of the season, with 1 spark every week after that, so you can craft a new piece of gear every 2 weeks, and as long as you're keeping up with your myth crests, you'll be able to upgrade one of them to item level 331 every 4 weeks. It is slow going, but that's the best gear available for solo content players. There is one other way to get some myth crests as a solo content player, but it's only a one-time deal. If you can defeat the Delve Nemesis on the higher difficulty, you'll get 30 hero crests and 30 myth crests, and these crests do not count towards your crest caps, making them even more valuable. The problem is that clearing the higher difficulty is pretty hard by yourself, so I would recommend doing this in a group to make it significantly easier. It is doable solo, and there's even a very special achievement for doing it solo in the first week of the season, but it's definitely not easy. Getting those extra 30 crests will shave an entire week off your first piece of 331 crafted gear. As you gear up, you'll also be able to trade up your crests to the next tier, so you'll be able to turn champion crests into hero crests, and hero crests into myth crests eventually. Being able to trade your crests up is tied to specific achievements called Crest Name of the Mist, so Champion of the Mist or Hero of the Mist for example. To earn those achievements, you need to equip a piece of gear in every slot that is equivalent of that gear track at 6 of 6 or higher. So for Champion, you would need item level 308 gear in every slot, and then you'll be able to trade your champion crests up to hero crests and so on. So the more you gear up, the easier you can obtain higher tiers of crests. These achievements will also unlock crest discounts for all of your ults, so when you've gotten the Champion of the Mist achievement on one character, all other characters will have their champion crest upgrade costs cut in half down to 10 per upgrade, which will help you gear up your ults much faster. And then the last major puzzle piece to your gearing adventures is going to be tier gear and getting your hands on your 4-set bonus. That will provide you with a massive power spike, but tier gear isn't easy to come by for solo content players. You only really have 2 major sources. The first is the Catalyst. The Catalyst lets you convert any piece of seasonal gear into tier set gear, so you want to get your hands on some head, shoulders, chest, hands and leg pieces of gear, pop them in the Catalyst and you'll have some tier set gear. Easy peasy. The only problem is that you need a catalyst charge to fuel the conversion. We start the season with 1 charge and then we'll get another charge every 2 weeks. So if you only rely on the catalyst, it's going to take you quite a while before you can enable your powerful 4-set bonus. The other main way you'll be able to obtain tier set gear as a solo content focused player is from the weekly vault. Every reward row in the weekly vault has a chance to be tier gear when you open the vault on reset day. The more rewards you have unlocked, the higher the chance of getting a big upgrade, which includes a piece of tier set gear. So make sure you're filling up your world row at the very least. You can fill in some dungeon slots with random heroic dungeons or time walking dungeons if they're available. It doesn't have to be mythic dungeons, but your rewards are going to be a bit lower. Now, many guides will be telling you to only pick up bonus rolls from the weekly vault, as that's the most powerful option and better than any actual gear reward, which is true, if you do high-end Mythic Plus or raid on heroic or mythic difficulty. Bonus rolls can be used to target myth track gear in those cases, but if you're strictly a solo content player, your bonus rolls will cap out at heroic, so it's not quite as worthwhile. It is very important to consider if you want to try and jump into any of that group content though, as there is no way to catch up with bonus rolls if you don't choose them as your vault reward. So if you think you'll want to try some Mythic Plus 10 keys or above, or the raid on at least heroic, maybe consider picking up the bonus rolls and saving them up. Otherwise, I would be aiming for tier set gear. Now, another way to get your hands on some tier set gear is to run the LFR wings as they become available. We start off with just the first wing open, but as the weeks go by, more and more bosses will become available to give you extra chances at tier gear. LFR is very easy, and you can queue into it all by yourself, so while it is technically group content, you don't have to do anything to create or join the group specifically. Just jump in, try to have some fun, and hopefully you'll walk away with some shiny loot. Getting some raid boss kills in from LFR will also help fill up your raid row in the weekly vault, giving you even more chances to get tier gear on reset day. The reason why obtaining your force set as quickly as possible is important is due to an achievement called Catalyst Unbound. When you first equip your force set, you'll earn this achievement, and that will let you obtain additional catalyst charges from endgame content, mainly delves if you're a solo content player. You can then use those charges to convert higher item level pieces of gear as you obtain them, and it goes from being an extremely limited resource to quite abundant, which will be the key if you want to try and chase down some tier gear with your class or specs best in slot stats. So running some LFR wings now and then could get you your force set weeks earlier than just waiting for the catalyst, which will speed everything else up. And then if you're ever struggling to replace some lower item level pieces of gear, there are a few other sources that might pique your interest. You should be able to pick up a pair of veteran braces from the Zul'Jara's Forces faction as long as you've completed the story quests for the new zone. That gets upgraded to champion braces if you reach renown rank 9 with the new faction, so keep that in mind if you end up really needing some braces later on down the line. You can get another 4 pieces of veteran gear more or less for free from the 4 original Midnight Renown factions, even if you got that gear during Season 1. You can get a helm from the Silvermoon Court, a necklace from the Amani tribe, a belt from the Harati, and a trinket from the Singularity faction in Voidstorm. Each one does require a bit of renown with the respective factions, so if you're new to the game for Season 2, or you just didn't get the reps farmed up in Season 1, it's probably not worth going out of your way to get these items, but if you do have the renown requirements already, it's a very easy way to get 4 pieces of veteran gear to help speed up the initial gearing process. You can also use your adventurer crests or veteran crests to craft some half-decent gear if you are struggling to gear up. You just need to add your crests at the bottom of any blue crafting recipe. Adventurer crests can bump the gear up to item level 279, while veteran crests will increase its item level to 292. That's basically a fully upgraded veteran piece of gear. This option becomes more and more potent as the season goes on, as you'll have a lot of crests that can be used to instantly gear up your ults halfway through the season. This is also a great option for just filling in any gearing gaps you may have, like that pesky low item level ring that you just can't seem to replace. And then something else that's worth noting, if you love to engage in a spot of PvP, is that you can pick up veteran 4 of 6 gear from the Bloody Token vendor in the PvP area of Silvermoon. You can earn some Bloody Tokens by turning on War Mode and taking part in open world PvP, with large chunks of the currency coming from certain world quests. It's not the most efficient gearing option available to you, but it's worth knowing about if you're running around with War Mode on anyway. But that's how you can get up to item level 320 or higher as a solo content player all by yourself with no group content. So that's it for this video. What kinds of content do you enjoy the most as a solo content player? And do you think solo players should have more access to hero and myth track gear? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to all of our members who are on YouTube. You can see their names on screen. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can find links in the description or click the join button just below the video. If you enjoyed the video or found it useful in any way, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you're always kept up to date. Thanks for watching, folks. Good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.